Hello, my name's Rich and welcome to Warhammer Time. In this first episode of Warhammer Time, we're going to be opening and looking at the new Cities of Sigmar launch box. So the Cities of Sigmar are a range within Age of Sigmar, the Games Workshop game, and they are a faction that's kind of existed since the beginning of the game, but now they're getting a complete revamp, and the launch box is coming out this week, and I've got my hands on a copy right here. So I've been quite excited about the relaunch of this faction for some time. They are the human faction, the sort of normal human faction within Age of Sigmar, which has kind of been lacking in the miniature range so far, oddly enough. Now, some people have said that the previous iteration of Cities of Sigmar with the elves and the dwarves was more interesting, but it's fair to say that the elves and the dwarves already have ranges within Age of Sigmar. The elves have got 3, the dwarves have got 2. Where were the normal men and women of Sigmar's world? Where were the men and women of the mortal realms? Well, here they are in this box. Not all of them, not every single last one in this box. So whereas the Stormcast Eternal have been reforged by Sigmar over and over again in some cases, and they are the reincarnated souls of mortals from the mortal realms, these are your common or garden standard soldiers from the various Cities of Sigmar. As I say, this is the launch box. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, first thing to say is this is not an insubstantial box. This is a hefty bit of kit from Games Workshop, which is, it surprised me with its weight. There are 27 miniatures in this box. I know that there's the rulebook as well, which will be quite hefty. But for 27 miniatures, it's heavy, and none of them are huge. None of them are like behemoth figures. We've got no dragons in here. We've got nothing really big. Slaves to Darkness had an army box like this, and they had the new Demon Prince mod. So I'm just looking at the sprue there without showing it to you, which is very rude of me considering this is a video. So here we've got, I think they're called Stern Guard, the normal troops. Lots and lots of shields on there. We've got standards as well. So you get 20 of those, so there's going to be two identical sprues. No surprises there. Looks like as well, you've got a variety of melee weapons, because there are some axes, some swords, some maces in there. So I don't know if they will act any differently or whether they will all act exactly the same as a sort of unit. There's a couple of characters. Just, can I see the names? No, I'll do that in a minute. Let's get them right now. A couple of people have mentioned the cavalry sprues are particularly impressive because of the number of options. And already I can see on here, there's like 7 or 8 heads on just that sprue alone. And then here's the bigger cavalry sprue. All sorts of bits. So then, you know, here's where some of that weight comes from. It's a big old sprue, hundreds of little bits. Possibly not technically hundreds, not literally hundreds, but there might be. I'll let you know in a later date. Now the characters, let's get their names. Let's call them by the right thing. So yeah, so the main infantry are called the Free Guild Steel Helms. The cavalry are the Free Guild Cavaliers. Then we've got the Free Guild Marshal and Relic Envoy and the Alchemite Warp Forger, and these are going to be those. So this one is your Free Guild Marshal and Relic Envoy. I've seen some lovely versions of this painted up over Twitter and other places, and this is the Alchemite Warp Forger, just a single sprue model there. That's all the sprues. What else is in the box? A base which just fell on the floor. So we have just a little divider, as is normally the case. Now this is a lovely looking book, isn't it? This is the tome that comes with this set. I imagine that when it comes out individually, when the army's released in full, there will be a different cover, and that this one is just a limited edition for this launch box. That's what they've done with the Slaves to Darkness box, which I've also got, and I think they've done a similar thing with some 40k boxes, but I don't know because I haven't bought any 40k boxes for a long time. So, we've got some tokens in here as well. We've got the instructions on how to build things. We may well have a look at that later on if I get around to building some. We've got the book itself. We've got lots of little tokens. And we've got some abilities or what do you call them? Orders, that's it. We've got some order tokens in here. Now, interestingly, these are divided into human, elf, and dwarven. So clearly you can still field elves and dwarven in your Cities of Sigmar armies. Then we've got all sorts of various little tokens which you use in game to say what a unit has done or will be doing. So here's the book. As I've already said, it is really rather nice. A matte finish with that little bit of shine for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar logo. The ends of the pages are gilded, and there's also one of those little ribbon bookmarks. Can't quite find where it's fallen, but there's a ribbon bookmark in there as well, which just adds a little touch of class. So we are going to go through the book in more detail, either later on or more likely in a separate video. It's got what you would expect from a battle tome or even a codex. You've got examples of miniatures, you've got all the lore before that, lots of lovely photographs of stonily painted models. One of the things actually I don't think you get in codexes in that other game is a painting guide, which you do get in the Age of Sigmar books, which is very handy indeed. And also it will tell you about the different cities that your Cities of Sigmar army can come from. And then of course, there's the army rules, the path to glory, battle plans and campaign rules, and then on to the battle scrolls. There's the Talia Vedra Lioness of the Part. That, when that miniature comes out, we're going to do like an hour-long video of me just going, oh, because it's stunning, it's fantastic. Oh, and of course, yeah, the other big one, I say big, I don't know how big it is, but the other one that's going to be very popular is the Pontifex Sinistra. Yeah, she's very cool on a kind of forget what it's called, those things that people carry for you. Dishes out mortal wounds all over the place. She's going to be ace. Another very exciting model. And another example of Games Workshop's kind of increasing efforts at inclusivity as well in terms of that model, which is always a good thing to see, unless you're a wanker. Okay, so one of the card decks. This is the orders and the other kind of army rules, all of the different things that you can choose, presumably the rune lore and stuff in there as well. Always nice to have them in an actual physical deck of cards as opposed to flicking through the rule book and finding all of having to go through that over and over again. One thing I've just noticed at the very bottom of the box, there's a whole heap of transfers. Let's take that. Wow, there's a lot of transfer sheets here, and I guess again that's because of all of the different cities of Sigmar that you could choose to deck out your force in terms of heraldry and whatnot. There's a lot going on here. Ooh, all the options. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, the bases are in the bottom of the box, and then we've got the battle scrolls. I love having battle scrolls as a separate physical card as opposed to just using ones in the book. I always buy them for my armies if they're available. So I think to put them together in a launch box with all the miniatures and the book, that's a cool thing. That's how I like to buy stuff and be complete. And I don't really understand why they don't just put these cards in the boxes with all the miniatures across all their games. Here you go. The first one on here, an example that some of those old miniatures or older miniatures are absolutely still in use and fundamental to the Cities of Sigmar, because we have the battle mage on Griffin there. I think you can have a commander on Griffin as well, if I remember correctly. Fantastic models which I will be purchasing at some point. And yeah, you've got there's Talia Vedra again, the fantastic beast of a model. You've got, as I understand it, 52 cards covering every unit you could wish to field. All of the new ones, all of the old ones. I've got flagellants in there. Oh, we've got the eternal spell thingies. There are cards for elf and dwarf units in here, or elf and dwarven units as we call them nowadays. They are absolutely in here. You've got your Longbeard, you've got your Hammerers. Most importantly of all, of course, you've got your Gyro Bomber. So those things are still all valid, which is great because I really want to buy one of those steam tanks that they created way back in the days of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and now I can. I mean, I could have bought one anyway, obviously, but now I could buy one and use it in this army. Because I am actively going to be building a Cities of Sigmar army. I've not just bought this for the unboxing and for the video. I love them as a faction. I hope they're good. I'm going to read the rule book now, the battle tome now, and get to grips with it. I'm going to start putting some models together as soon as I possibly can. I'm hoping to have a game of Age of Sigmar next Thursday. That depends very much on whether or not my friend Tom's car has been repaired so that he can meet me to play it. But if not, I'm sure I'll be having one soon. I think I'm probably going to do another video just about the battle tome and maybe some of the first models that I've got to put together so we can have a look at them. And one thing that I've not been able to figure out from Googling is the points value of this box set. So that's something that I'm going to work out as well, and we can talk about whether it's a viable force, whether you can actually field it. Clearly there is some battle line in there, there's some characters in there. It's not going to be 2,000 points, obviously. I really have no idea, because despite there being 27 figures, if all that battle line come in at a very low points value, which they may well do because they are just models, it might not be a viable force at all. I might need several more boxes, and wouldn't that be terrible? Anyway, thank you very much for joining me for the first ever Warhammer Time video. I've been Rich, this has been Warhammer Time. If you like and subscribe, I will make more videos. If you don't, I might still make more videos, but I'd rather that you affirmed my existence by doing so. Thanks very much. See you next time.